So for my last 3 by 3 critical reflection, I got to see a lot towards the end of the school year in a special ed resource room that was a little bit different from a regular ed um, room. So I saw a lot of differences in that way. The first was keeping the onus on the student. So in my class, there's a lot of independent app work um, and kind of like reading tests and keeping up with their R books, which is where all their articles are in, and they answer questions. Um, the big kind of thing for me is to where do we find that balance from a regular ed classroom and a special ed classroom and keeping the students responsible for turning their work in on time and things of that sort, because I know that one of our special ed teachers in Middletown has a problem with the regular ed teachers giving zero straight up for late work all the time in high school. And when I was in high school, if you turned something in, you got some type of credit. And my teacher McCreary does at least partial credit for something. If you turn something in, you should probably get credit for it no matter when it's late. But so like keeping the onus on the student, even if late work. And I think if I had my own special ed room, I would give some type of credit for late work because the work is done, and as long as effort is put in, points should be awarded. Um, the second one is balancing school and home life. I know my teacher has had some really stressful IEP meetings lately, with especially with one parent who, berates people during meetings and stuff like that. Um, Handling that can be really hard, but staying confident in yourself and knowing that your administrators have your back can certainly help in your IEP meetings and when you're carrying out your caseload and making the IEP for the student, even though parents might have some type of objection to it. I think that's a really hard kind of thing to do, and you can never really bring it home with you. Um, at Mannheim, when I did my student teaching, there was a school psychologist that said it's really hard to not bring stuff home with you, because she had some students that committed suicide, and it was really hard not to bring that kind of stuff home, but you have to keep them separate. And I think that's the kind of thing that I am going to embody when I become a special ed teacher, is to keep the two things separate. And while I'm in school, 100% of my attention is towards school, and when I'm at home, I got other things to deal with. And my third principle would be trying to stick with the understanding that Dr. T used to say, one step forward and two steps back. Trying to embody that and understanding that you made progress one day, that doesn't necessarily mean that for the rest of the week it's going to happen. It is a long process for special ed students to learn new material. We talk about in this class generalization of skills. Trying to get those same skills to apply to other things is a really complicated thing, and sometimes it might not go according to plan, but you got to be flexible and got to understand that these students are trying their best and you're trying your best, so that's really all you can do. You can't worry about things that you cannot control. So those are my three principles, and to conclude these 3 by 3s, I thought they really helped, and it got me to reflect on things that I saw in placement, so thanks.